Hey, good morning, Chad. This is a demo video for you for your Saber Bay darksaber and blade. This is installed the Proffie. It's got the Goth master chassis in it, as you know. I did install your blade plug, so I'm going to show you how that lights up. This is a pretty tight guy though, so you will want to maybe take it out with a pair of tweezers or something. It's just a super tight fit. All right. This is a 2-button setup though, which is pretty cool. So this main switch right here lights up when the saber's on, and that's your power. And then you have a little piece back here. When you press it, that's your auxiliary switch. All right. So when you want to get to the chassis, the first thing you want to do is take this switch plate off because it's on magnets. Take that off. It's got 6 magnets on that guy. So 4 there, 1 here, and 1 here. So we want to put that off to the side. Very first thing you want to do. All right, you can see your switch plate or your switches from here. Your kit comes with 3 Allen keys. We're going to take the smallest one, and you do have to come over here from the front of the switch and take the screw off. And be careful not to lose that guy because I did not see a spare one in your kit. So be very careful not to lose that. But once you take that off, this handle slides right off. All right, and this is what you've got. So this is a removable crystal chamber. If you wanted to pop it out, you can just pop it out from the back. It's got your crystal in there. It's just its own unit. I see that you've weathered this a little bit, so that looks really nice. I went ahead, I didn't mess with that, left it alone. Your Proffie board is right there. I do have a 5-pixel accent strip on top of the board for a little bit of extra shine through. You got your Neopixel PCB up there to light up your crystal. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw this piece back in. Oops, don't do it backwards though, or it won't fit. We'll throw that in. If you come over here, you have an OLED screen. This has a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost speaker right here, and then a removable battery setup. Because this was an open wire channel, I went ahead and I used a piece of copper tubing to hide the wire, so it looked just kind of like it was part of the chassis. So I hope you don't mind what I did there. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll throw a blade in this guy, or a blade. We'll throw a battery in this guy. Make sure you get it right. There's no springs here. You got kind of a leaf spring over here. So the negative side of your battery goes over here by your speaker. All right. We'll flip that on. We'll put that in. You're not going to hear anything until you come over here and flip your kill switch. So I'll turn this off real quick. Flip the kill switch.
I yield. It's yours. Oh no. It doesn't work that way.
As you can see, you got that lighting on top of your board, your crystal chamber. I made that do a little something different when the blade is on. You do have twist off, but if we come over here, I'm trying to make it to where this crystal chamber doesn't fall out on me. You can see your OLED screen. Goes your battery meter, and then when we switch sound fonts,
the darksaber, it belongs to you.
It names all of your fonts. So you could go in there and you could put some animations on if you like, but I just made sure for now it named all of the fonts for you. All right, and these all of these blinkies are on a timer. So if you don't turn the saber on right away, they'll time out. All right, so we'll take your handle, slap it on. Put that tiny screw in. Remember, be very careful with that guy. We'll lock that screw down all the way, just like that. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to come over here and take your switch plate and put it back on. All right. Make sure it's nice and even. If it's not even, the buttons don't work properly. But if it is, you know. Again, you can see how I got your blade plug lighting up. Auxiliary back here. And we'll turn that off and we'll take this guy out. Get a tool. If you wanted to do some sanding on the aluminum, that would probably help take this out. I didn't do that, obviously. Didn't want to ruin the finish. But that's what your blade plug looks like outside of the Saber. Your blade has a single Neopixel strip running up the blade. I made sure on your blade plug to do 2 Neopixel strips back to back like you would normally see in a regular Neopixel blade. So there's plenty of shine through on this guy. All right. Now I've got your blade right here. This is the blade that comes with a kit made from Saber Trade. Everything lights up on this guy very well. It only goes in one way. You can see the slant on the blade, the slant in the emitter. So if you try to put it in this way, it's not going to go. All right. So slide it in the right way. We're going to come over here and lock it down, and I'll show you what I'm locking it down with here after I do it. You have a total of 6 blade retentions that you can use for this blade. All right, I'm only going to use 4 of them. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. Let me put that over here where I can find it. You have 2 grub screws right here. All right, so that's 2. You have another 2 grub screws right here. So those are the 4 blade retentions I'm using. Additionally, in your kit, you have 2 more screws. That one would go in on this side, and one would go in on this side. The blade has to be in for those to stick in because the blade piece is what's threaded. All right. I went ahead and I just left those in your kit because I don't need them for right now. But just know, you have four means of locking the blade down. I put all of the sound fonts that you sent me on here along with the designated blade. So you bounce back and forth between the animated series and the live action darksaber blade from Fett's library. I made sure each of those fonts had the blade that you wanted, and they also have soundtracks. So a long press on the power when the saber's off. All right, and another long press to turn it off. Just like that. And of course, trading sound fonts is hitting auxiliary.
This is the way. This is the way. Have you ever seen This is the way.
Switch light lit up. I don't remember if I showed you that, sorry, but you got your switch all lit up. Good flash on flash.
Liable to put an eye out for one of these. Hand over the darksaber.
Although blade lockup is holding down the auxiliary and hitting the saber, it can be a little bit difficult to see on this particular blade style.
I claim this sword, and my rightful place as leader of Death Watch. We are the Death Watch, descendants of the true warrior faith all Mandalorians once knew. This is the way. The darksaber. It belongs to you.
I think we've cycled through them all, so last one to fire up here. If I remember right, you had about 6. just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out of this guy and then go over dismantling it to either flip your kill switch or to go ahead and take the battery out. Take that out. And then we'll have to come over here again and take this screw out right here. Right here, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take our switch plate off. Very important to remember to take that switch plate off, or you could do some damage to the magnets and even the switches themselves on the PCB. All right. Pop that off. Slide this off. Come over here and flip the switch, and it kills everything just like it should. All right, and then when you want to take the battery out from the positive side over here by your board, it should be easy enough to do with your finger, just like that. And that is basically your darksaber. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll package this up and get it out in the mail to you by tomorrow. Thanks, man.